Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Once Upon a Chapter. If you're new here, my name is Nadine, and if you already know me, then you know that I love my books, and it's time for an April wrap-up. I'm a bit late on this one, but I thought I'll share with you guys all the books that I read in the month of April and what I think about them, and if I think you should read them as well. Starting off with God of Malice. So this book starts out really heavy and dark. I mean, the first few pages I was like, I don't know if I can do this, and then I just kept on going and I was like, okay. So if you're not used to dark romance, like I said again, check your triggers, because this starts with our FMC Glendon, who comes across our MMC right away on the edge of a cliff, and let's just say their encounter is a lot more intense than most encounters. But anyway, she goes to college where she's also mourning her friend Devlin, and she keeps running into Killian, who's a pre-med student, and he gets completely obsessed with her. Would I recommend this book? Yes, I have to say, even though it was very dark, it was also kind of interesting because I feel like both characters are very complex, and getting to know the characters throughout the book, it just gives like a good insight into, you know, childhood trauma and how that affects people later on. And so I will definitely keep on reading the series, but it's a yes from me. Next up, we've got Scattered Bones by Nicole Scarano, and this is a standalone book. It's an easy read. I was really curious about this because it's a dark fantasy romance, and a lot of people said that it was one of the most beautiful books they've ever read, and I do have to say it was very beautifully written. This book follows Sella, whose only purpose in life is to be the vessel of a god or a goddess who wants to just be beautiful for the rest of her life. And because Sella has that, she was chosen to become the vessel of the goddess at her 21st birthday, I think. Until the body is chosen, she's not allowed to interact with anyone. She's kept in basically a room where she is just waiting, where her body will be taken over at some point, which means she just leaves her body to the goddess, and we'll come back later on when the goddess is done with it and choose someone new. Throughout that time though, in her room, she comes across a thief who is hiding out in her room, and they build this incredible connection. But things don't go the way they plan, and obviously it gets very, very sad, and her whole life makes a big turn. This is a beautiful book. Like I said, it's a standalone book. It's a dark fantasy, so again, check trigger warnings, but it's a very easy read. It's a great palate cleanser if you've just come out of like a very long series and you want to read something that's a bit quicker, but still really enjoyable. So a very beautiful read. I would definitely recommend this one. Next up, we have Fearless, which is the third book in the Powerless series. I absolutely love this book. The ending of this book was definitely completely unexpected, but it was also a book that was full of so much yearning and heartache. I absolutely devoured this book. It was, I mean, this is where Kai Aster is just completely blooming. Peyton faces a lot of new trials. She's also torn between her heart and her head, having to marry Kit and being in love with Kai. Obviously things get very complicated because she also has a good relationship with Kit. It has a lot of sad parts to it because it is between two brothers as well, which makes it a very tricky triangle, but I absolutely love this. I thought it was a great ending. I gave it 4 stars, and I would definitely recommend you guys reading this series. It is YA, so we don't have a lot of spice, but there's a lot of yearning, and believe me, Kai Aster, with everything that comes out of his mouth, he makes up for the missing spicy. Another series that I finally got to finish in the month of April is the Plated Prisoner series. I had 2 books left out of, I think it was 5 books, so 6 books. So I had 2 books left. All of them are quite chunky. This is a dark fantasy romance that starts out crazy, but I've never read a series that just has such a good development where each book just gets better and better and better, which is really difficult, I find. For a lot of series, after a while, they're like, okay, let's wrap it up. Well, like here, it just felt like there was so much happening, and the character growth of it and just the love in this book was incredible. I mean, our MMC Slade in this book, he is willing to literally tear the world apart for her, and it's also kind of interesting seeing an MMC just completely losing his head for the love of his life. And yeah, so I absolutely loved these two books. I mean, like I said, I loved each book more than the other, but if you're looking for a long series, something that is full of a really fun magic system, that's got fated mates, that has some dark elements to it, then I would definitely highly recommend the Fated Prisoner series. I absolutely loved it, guys. Then we have one of my favorite books of all time, which is Duskbound. This is the second book in the Riftborn series, and I have to say the first book is giving a lot of Fourth Wing vibes, even though it has a very different magic system, but it's just the dark academia. It's giving a bit of Zodiac Academy, but then, you know, you finish the first book and you think you've got it all figured out, and then you get to this book and there's a lot of twists and turns in here, and let me tell you, the people and characters in this book were, I mean, I loved every second of it. This book is so special. I think it's so beautifully written. It's underhyped. It should be even more hyped, but it is such a good read. I definitely have to say that you have to add this to your TBR because, like I said, it's a great read. Then we have Enchantra. The first book was Phantasma, if you haven't read it, and this is the second book to the duology. You don't have to read both of them because both follow a different sister. It's two sisters. Both books are in a gothic setting. Both books have trials, got different magical creatures, but I absolutely love this book. This book is following Genevieve, who is still on the hunt to find out about her mother's past. She ends up at a new haunted house where she is being introduced to the Silver family. One of the sons of the Silver family, Rowan Silver, is trying to not let her into the house. She figures out a way to still get in it, and now she's stuck there, and the only way to get out is to join this tournament that happens once a year that only the Silver family can attend. But there's a little twist in this, where if you are married to one of the Silver children, you can also attend. And in order to get back out of the house, she has to survive, and in order to survive, she has to attend this tournament and win it. So she has to kind of dive into this like fake marriage with Rowan Silver because she is trying to get back out of the house. And obviously lots of stuff happens in this, like I said, great trials, but I enjoyed this book even more than Phantasma. I thought the story was even better. It's definitely a 5-star read to me. I would definitely recommend this book as well. Next up we have Nocticadia. So Nocticadia is also a dark gothic romance. I have read Anathema by Carrie Lake before, which is one of my favorite books of all time. This book was rated really highly by most people on Book Talk, so I was really excited about it. And while I do think it was a great book, I didn't love the ending of it as much as I hoped, just because I feel like towards the last 30% there were some turns in the book that I just don't know why I just couldn't connect with, and it lost me a little bit. In this book we have a forbidden teacher-student romance going on, which a lot of people absolutely love. The whole school setting of it is really cool. It's about a different island, it's about scientists, we've got worms in it. Check your trigger warnings because there's some things happening in there that aren't that good, and it starts out quite rough, but I have to say, like I said, it's a great book. The only thing is towards the last 30% it just wasn't as good as Anathema, which probably is still gonna be one of my favorite books of all time. And then we have a series that I started because initially I thought that the book was a standalone, realized it wasn't, and it is To Fleet a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. So there are 3 books out right now. They're expecting it to be a 6-book series, and wow, I mean, this is a dark fantasy series, but it felt so different to other books I have read before. It feels a bit like a Rapunzel retell, but it has some twists and turns. The book follows Orlith, who survived a massacre at just 2 years old, and it is held under protection of Warden, who's this mysterious master. She's being kept in a high tower where she is giving him a drop of her blood diluted in a crystal cup every single day. Him and her don't really have a relationship until she's 19. He just kind of like stays out of sight. There's other people taking care of her, and on her 19th or 20th birthday, he suddenly starts playing a bigger part in her life. A lot of things are being uncovered, a lot of truths are coming out. This book is a reimagination of Rapunzel. I personally think that it was so good. The magic system, the trauma in it, it felt very confusing in the beginning because you don't know how old Warden is, and then they have this like weird connection, and it's like almost like giving like Stockholm syndrome, and you're trying to find out about her past. But this book was so gripping, and I have to say by book 2 I was hooked. I mean, book 1, book 2, book 3, they're all incredible. It's such a cool, unique fantasy. It's such a cool, unique magic system, and like I said, it's 3 books out to be 6, and I've been enjoying every book so much. This could turn into one of my favorite book series. So like I said, To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, I would definitely highly recommend it. There's a lot of PTSD in it, so I would definitely check the triggers, but it is such a good underrated series. Like, I was surprised that I haven't read more about it because it is so good. So these are all the books that I read in April. Let me know if you have read any of them, what you think about them, if you have read the Crystal Bloom series or not, and which books you think I should definitely not miss out to in May. And there are some more videos coming, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching.